Subcommittee to order for March 11th, 2026. Will the clerk please open the board for roll call? Members, make sure you're signed in so we can take roll. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mr. Chairman, you have 9 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Do the members have any personal orders before we get started? Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. I just want to draw your attention to the audience. I have a couple of constituents here. My constituent, Brock Whitman, is here. And his mom, Judge Valerie Smith, and dad are in the, please stand up and welcome to Memphis, or welcome from Memphis. Thank you so much.
Yes, welcome. We always like to recognize people from Memphis. But we do have a full calendar day, 51 bills. We're going to start off the committee by me admitting that I did something wrong at the last committee. I accidentally sent a bill behind the budget that was not supposed to go there. So item number 51 on your calendar, on your addendum calendar, item number 51. Chairman Darby, you are recognized on without objection. We're going to take it up. House Bill 2510. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Darby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill simply extends the existing law to provide long-term stability and predictability in counties that depend on retaining the sales and tax generated from commercial development districts.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to be clear for the record, we need to reconsider our actions on putting this bill behind the budget. So we have a motion to reconsider. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed. We are on the bill. We're back on the bill. Can I have a motion second on House Bill 2510? Motion second on the bill. You just heard the description from Chairman Darby. Any questions for Chairman Darby on the bill? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Madam Clerk, will you please open the board for a vote? Those in favor of House Bill 2510, moving on to full finance, please say aye or vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 9 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you, Chairman Darby. House Bill 2510 goes to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Back to the top of your calendar, item number 1 on your calendar. Leader Lambert is in the room. Item number 1, House Bill 1505. Leader Lambert, do I have a motion and a second? Leader Lambert, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, the rest of us were conferring over here. You don't hardly ever make a mistake. But if you want to make a mistake on any of ours and send us through the full, we'd love that to happen too, right? I mean, the whole front row would love that.
I'm giving one pass.
All right, Mr. Chairman. Look, the bill before you has a fiscal note of just under $350,000, but it is straightforward. It does exactly what it says. It makes, on July 4th weekend, on the 250th birthday of the United States, guns and ammo would be tax-free. The Second Amendment is an integral part of our country and our freedom here. And on that one weekend, I don't think we ought to be charging sales tax on guns and ammo. So, Mr. Chairman, I know where it's headed behind the budget, and I deeply respect that, but that's all I have to say on it.
Thank you, Leader Lambert. Any questions for Leader Lambert? As he said, he knows the destination of this. So without objection, House Bill 1505 goes behind the budget. Thanks, Chair. You have item number 2 on the calendar, House Joint Resolution 729. Leader Lambert, we have a motion and a second. You're recognized.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. And I only know this committee at some point will consider probably 3 constitutional amendments to go on the ballot. I hope that this would be one of them. At whatever point, Mr. Chairman, you take those up. But this is what we've worked on for several years to try to make sure that our local county elections line up with the state and federal elections. So instead of folks voting May, August, November, it would just be August and November. Saves money and increases turnout. Again, like the last bill, focuses on freedom, because if folks get out and exercise their right to vote, that ensures our freedom as well. And if you do it August and November, I think more folks will come out, and again, it'll save some money.
Thank you, Leader Lambert. Any questions for Leader Lambert? Seeing none, as he said before, this bill is a constitutional amendment, so we do have a special calendar for those. So without objection, House Joint Resolution 729 goes to the constitutional amendment calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Item number 3. Chairman Halsey, you're recognized on House Bill 2038. Do I have a motion second? We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Halsey, you also have an amendment I think you'd like to put on.
Yes, sir, I do, Chairman. It's 012887.
Thank you. Do I have a motion second? We have a motion and second on the amendment, drafting code 012887. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. All those opposed, the amendment is on the bill. Chairman Halsey, you are recognized on the bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman of Committee. The amendment names this bill the Frank Nicely Legal Tender Monetary Act for all the efforts that he did for years for sound money decisions and what he stood for. This bill just declares gold and silver coinage as legal tender in the state of Tennessee. There's 2 or 3 reasons why you need that. You got some bills coming forward in the future that'll need it. And so I'm just trying to put that plank in place.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey. Any questions for Chairman Halsey? I will say, there was a time when putting Frank Nicely's on the bill might actually kill it. I hope that that's not the case of yours. But this bill does have a fiscal impact, and so without objection, House Bill 2038 will go behind the budget.
Thank you, Committee and Chair.
Item 4 on your calendar at the back of the room, Chairman Martin, you are House Bill 406. I have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Martin, you're recognized.
Thank you,
on House Bill
Committee and Chair.
406.
This bill ensures children and young adults aged 21 and under have access to medically appropriate prosthetics and custom orthotic devices through their private insurance without discrimination.
Thank you, Chairman
With that,
Martin,
I
for
stand
that
ready.
brief description. Any questions for Chairman Martin? Seeing none, this bill also does have a fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 406 will go behind the budget.
Thank you, Committee.
Item number 5 on your calendar, House Bill 357 by Chairman Powers. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Powers, I think you have an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, there is an amendment traveling with it, 014606.
That is the amendment. We have a motion and a second on the amendment. For all those in favor of amendment drafting code 014606, say aye. All those opposed, drafting code amendment 014606 is on the bill. Chairman Powers, you are recognized on House Bill 357 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And all the amendment did was change the date, but House Bill 357 would enact the Rescue Squad Recognition Act, which prohibits a municipality, county, political subdivision, or nonprofit from operating a rescue squad unless it has been duly recognized and authorized to perform rescue operations in conformity with this bill by the State Fire Marshal's Office. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I renew my motion.
Thank you for that description. Do the members have any questions? Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for bringing the legislation. Have people been operating rescue squads without them being qualified?
Chairman Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, there has been instances of that across the state. Matter of fact, there was one area called, they had 2 men in a boat, not 2 men in a truck, but 2 men in a boat, and they were operating called a rescue squad. And so we want to make sure that they have the correct information and everything on file before they apply for grants or anything like that, that they're actually a legitimate rescue squad.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? I want to thank Chairman Powers for this bill. I heard from my local community back at home, and I was shocked to hear that this actually didn't apply. So
Me too.
look forward to working on that. Are the members, any further discussion? Are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, would you please open the board for vote? Those in favor of House Bill 357 moving to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes do have it. House Bill 357 moves to full finance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee.
Item number 6 on your calendar, House Bill 1668 by Chairman Rudd. I have a motion and a second. Chairman Rudd, you are recognized on House Bill 1668.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the anti-banking jugging bill. And what that is if you're following someone, it's already against the law right now, that if someone follows someone who has got money out of an ATM and they're closely behind, whether in a car or walking, with the intent, but intent is vaguely described. So we're clearly defining intent here and giving the district attorneys more power. And basically where intent was not defined before, now it is. If they find something like a note, instructions, because these people are usually part of a gang or a banking ring where they're stealing money. And this says that if you're in possession of a modified adapted tool, in other words, something like picking locks, it's a burglary tool. If you're also got notes, or if you're communicating back and forth with the with the ring, that can be used to establish intent. Right now, intent is very vague. So this is what that does.
Thank you, Chairman Rudd. Any questions for Chairman Rudd? Seeing none, this bill does have a small fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 1668 will go behind the budget.
Thank you.
Item number 7 on your calendar, House Bill 1818 by Chairman Russell. I do not see Chairman Russell, so without objection, House Bill 1818 will go to the Hill. Next on your calendar, item number 8, House Bill, let me say that again, House Bill 1818 to the Hill. Item number 8, House Bill 1555 by Chairman Slater. Do I have a motion and second? Chairman Slater, you are recognized on House Bill 1555.
This bill addresses violations of current law related to driving while holding an electronic device. Current law caps court costs at $10 without any state or local litigation taxes. As amended, House Bill 1555 removes the $10 cap and subjects defendants to 50% of state and local litigation taxes.
Thank you, Chairman Slater. Any questions for Chairman Slater? Congratulations on him having the first bill that generates revenue. Yes, Representative Shaw, you are recognized.
Just, if you don't mind, repeat that. I was listening, but I wasn't listening.
Currently, if you're, excuse me, Chairman, currently, if you're pulled over and you're cited for using a device or having a device in your hand, then you would receive a $50 fine, which is by the Constitution, and a $10 court cost, which is statutory. What this does is remove that cap, that $10 cap statutorily, and takes it to 50% of the kind of routine state and local court cost. And so that's what it does. That amendment, by the way, did come from transportation as we worked its way through transportation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Any further questions for Chairman Slater? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, will you please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 55 moving to full finance, vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 8 ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you. The ayes do have it. House Bill 1555 moves to full finance. Item number 9 on your calendar, House Bill 1899, also by Chairman Slater. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Slater, you are recognized on House Bill 1899.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. This has to do with homes for the aged. This bill increases from 3 to 5 the maximum number of individuals that may live in a Tier 1 home for the aged, subject to licensure by the Department of Disability and Aging. It increases from 4 to 6 the minimum number of individuals that may live in a Tier 2 home for the aged, subject to licensure by the Health Facilities Commission. With that, I stand ready for questions.
Thank you, Chairman Slater. Any questions for Chairman Slater? Seeing none, House Bill 1899 does have a fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 1899 will go behind the budget.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to go back to item number 7. Without objection, item number 7, House Bill 1818 by Chairman Russell. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Russell, you are recognized on House Bill 1818.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I do have an amendment of 014362.
Give us 1 second there. I think it's traveling with. So the bill is before us in its proper posture. And so, Chairman, you are recognized on House Bill 1818 as amended from committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1818 as amended requires a local board of education that provides transportation facilities to students who live more than 1 1/2 miles by the nearest accessible route to provide transportation for all students who live more than 1 1/2 miles. It also requires a local education agency to notify the parents or guardian of a child whom the transportation cannot be furnished, potential for the parent or guardian to receive payment in lieu of transportation.
Thank you, Chairman Russell. Any questions for Chairman Russell? Seeing none, this bill does have fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 1818 will go behind the budget.
Thank you.
Back to our regular order on the calendar, item number 10, House Bill 898 by Chairman Todd. I do not see Chairman Todd. So without objection, House Bill 898 goes to the Hill. Item number 11 on your calendar, House Bill 1978 by Chairman White. I have a motion second on the bill. Chairman White, I think I also have an amendment that you'd like to put on the bill, drafting code 013616.
That is correct.
Do I have a motion second on that? We have a motion and second on that amendment. All those in favor of drafting code 013616, say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Amendment drafting code 013616 is on the bill. Chairman White, you're recognized on the bill as amended.
Well, thank you, Chairman Committee. House Bill 1978, what it does, it amends Tennessee Code Annotated 67-6-318 to provide clarity and continuity regarding the sales and use tax treatment of qualified building materials that are used in approved capital investment projects. This legislation is industry neutral and applies to all qualifying capital investments under existing law. The reason I'm carrying the bill, I'm representing an industry giant in Tennessee, which is FedEx. They are continually improving the hub logistics to keep up with the demand. They've got a $40 million project going on now. And so we want to make sure that this legislation stays in place. It has been for a while so that our industries continue to use this particular code.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the bill? I do have a question. Is this the single project that we had passed this before? Or is this an ongoing project, and when do you expect that project will end?
Let me turn around and look at my.
It's on a 5-year period. This is an expansion of our hub.
5-year period expansion of the hub.
So at the end of the 5-year period, this language will not be needed to be extended.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for the inappropriate testimony for the.
I never asked enough questions.
Yes, I will say I will be voting against this bill today. I think that, there are thousands of businesses across the state who are paying sales tax on their construction of their projects. This is nothing new for us to do, but I'm really concerned about us continuing to provide these kind of services. But I appreciate your efforts, and I appreciate the great work that your single entity does in Memphis. And so with that, do we have any further discussion? Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Chairman White. Thank you for bringing the bill. I'll be supporting the bill because we know that the extension of the FedEx hub is going to generate lots and lots of jobs and opportunity and create an economic impact into the Memphis and Shelby County community. Not just that, given its global presence and its global economic impact, it's going to actually help to further the GDP for our entire country. And so I'll be supporting this legislation. Thank you for bringing it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, would please open the board for a vote. All those in favor of House Bill 1978 moving to full finance, please say aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 9 ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you. The ayes do have it. House Bill 1978 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman Committee.
Item number 12 on your calendar, Chairman Faison, we have a motion second on House Bill 754. Chairman Faison, I think you also have an amendment that you'd like to put on.
I do, yes, sir.
Drafting code 011841.
That's correct.
We have a motion second on the amendment. All those in favor of drafting code amendment 011841, say aye. All those opposed, vote say no. The ayes do have it. Drafting code 011841 is on the bill. Chairman Faison, you're recognized on House Bill 754.
Good morning, committee. Mr. Chair, certainly good to be with you. Since the last 10 years in America, we have seen individuals that want to go through a transgender process. We've been doing this long enough now in America that we've seen people come out on the other side. They get 19, 20, 25 years old. They realize, you know what? I made a mistake. I want to detransition. We've found that most of the time, the insurance companies who paid for them to go through a transition don't pay for them to detransition. So this bill is just simple. If you sell to a client insurance that has transition capabilities in it, the therapy or whatever it takes, and you sell that, that they also have, this is on the consumer. If you buy that, then you also have to buy insurance to detransition as well. And that's the long and short of the bill.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion on the amendment? We do have some folks here to, for testimony today. So without objection, we're going to go out of session to hear from individuals. First, I have on my list, Dayron Annalise Johnson and Winter Breedlove. So if you will grab a seat there, pull the mic to you. We will activate, or you can stand at the podium. We will activate the mic, and if you will, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Chair Williams and members of the committee, thank you for allowing me time to offer perspective and context on HB 754. I'm Chaplain Darren Annalise Johnson, a 22-year resident of Davidson County. Though it might surprise you to hear me say it, if HB 754 served to make sure people actually get the care they need, as the little story about this bill has been spun so far, then we'd find ourselves in a place of broad agreement. People should be able to access and insurance should cover the health care that they and their providers feel will best benefit them. A lovely vision I only wish were true. But you know, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride, and this bill begs a lot of questions. For starters, it requires insurers and providers to hand over a broad and invasive set of healthcare specifics, not for billing, but for inspection and interrogation. Why this information? What statewide problems get fixed by snooping into the conversations I've had with my doctors, by scrounging through my healthcare history and therapy visits? What public crisis gets solved by knowing the dates of my medical care, my prescriptions, how often and how long I'll be taking them, even what form they come in? I'll note that while the bill states neither insurers nor providers shall include individually identifiable health information, that doesn't begin to solve its problems. This makes the 3rd year now I've been following this legislation around, and I will underscore again that this bill presents a slew of HIPAA concerns, requiring the collection of numerous elements of IIHI as defined in 45 CFR 160. An example, this bill mandates the Department of Health compile a generalized report of all the details now required from insurers and providers. Remember, though, the definition of individually identifiable health information in the CFR includes not just that information by which one can be directly identified, but also that information, quote, from which it is reasonable to believe one can be identified, end of quote. Pair the small population under the bill's surveillance with, say, the fact some proportion of them will live in low-density areas, and very quickly, identification, even from abstract data, becomes very reasonable to believe indeed. You'll notice we've moved from a high-minded story about assuring people get care to details about how this bill targets specific groups and risks identifying individual people, creating state-held registries of both providers and patients. That's what is actually at the heart of this bill. It's list making and surveillance are what it's really about. I urge you to vote no on HB 754, a bill not about fairness and health, but about collecting data, making lists, and targeting patients like me and the providers who offer us care. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on my list, Winter Breedlove.
Distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My name is J.D. Hood, formerly Winter Breedlove. I'm a member of Franklin Senate District 27 and a member of the LGB Courage Coalition with Jamie Reed. I've been a gay man my entire life, one that has struggled immensely with internalized homophobia. I didn't want to be gay and instead tried to transition into a woman. As a trans woman, I experienced multiple violent assaults, including a sexual assault. A roommate violently attacked me with a knife, and it took me several months to heal from it at a transgender halfway house in Los Angeles. After 4 years of consistent violence, I chose to detransition. The past several years, much of my life has been spent navigating the medical and insurance fallout of a transition which never should have happened in the first place. What was treated as gender dysphoria was in reality bipolar, and PTSD, underlying issues that were never addressed or fully explored by the Vanderbilt Transgender Clinic. Ultimately, I paid $7,000 out of pocket for chest liposuction to correct hormone-induced gynecomastia after nearly 2 years of insurance coding confusion. Each delay meant additional cost, uncertainty, and time away from work. What should have been a straightforward medical care became a monthly administrative battle. Another example of medical malfeasance during my detransition. This past January, my medically necessary chest surgery was nearly classified as cool sculpting. 2 years of insurance fights were almost undone by a single line in a billing system. Today, I still undergo regular hormone monitoring to prevent breast growth recurrence and manage elevated blood pressure from prior hormone use. Detransition has not closed this chapter medically. Now, some may believe that closing the Vanderbilt Transgender Surgery Wing has partly resolved this issue. It has not. Patients like me do not vanish when clinics shut down. We carry our consequences with us into primary care offices, insurance appeals, and exam rooms where doctors have never met a detransitioned person. HB 754, it's not a culture war battle. It's a continuity of care issue. And continuity of care also exists for patients like me. If public and private insurance provide healthcare to transgender identified individuals, why not provide healthcare to detransitioned individuals? This discrepancy is unfair and treats detransitioned people as second-class citizens. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony from both of you today. I do have some questions, though, sir, if you don't mind. We do have some questions from the committee for those who testified today. First on my list, Speaker Zachary, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the gentleman who just spoke, thank you for your courage, being willing to come here and stand before this committee and share your story. For no other reason than to speak on behalf of those who have experienced or are experiencing the same things you have gone through. So truly, sir, thank you for being here. Thank you for advocating, and thank you for clearly articulating the reason we need this legislation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Zachary. Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too want to thank both of you. I just want to ask couple of questions. Number one, are you required to get counseling before you make a transition, either or?
Typically, you are required to get counseling. What I have found, and again, I did this from 2018 to 2022, so a couple of years ago. A lot of the doctors and therapists were kind of tied into this mentality of transition people at any cost, even if they had mental health conditions. Because I regularly brought it up to my doctors and therapists at Vanderbilt about my rapes, but they never did anything about it. They were mostly focused on the trans issue, from my perspective.
Thank you.
He wanted.
Representative Shaw.
Yes.
Yes, you're recognized.
Thank you for the question. I would say I have no broad disagreement with my good colleague at the mic here that we should be providing care for all folks who seek it, regardless of where they are in their healthcare journey. I would stress at this point that to be on the journey of my colleague here is to continue to try to find one's place in one's own body. So it is a continuation of the very journey that they began to begin with. And I would want to make sure that any of us were able to get the care that we need wherever we are in our lives or in our healthcare journeys. My argument isn't with that. It's with the data grab and collection part of this bill that I find deeply problematic.
Representative Shaw.
And there are insurance companies. You're not asking for an insurance company to do this if they don't want to, but there are companies that would provide you insurance both to transition from one and then to transition back if that was possible? Is there insurance companies that do that?
I'm sorry, I thought that was addressed. Sure.
Well, are there, so if you want to be a woman, there are insurance companies that would pay for you to make that transition. If you decided later you wanted to transition back to man, are there insurance companies that would do that?
I think in the past few years, kind of speaking to what Representative Faison said, there's been a shift culturally where people have rectified the situation, but it's a cultural shift that's taking place. And from my perspective, I've had struggles with insurance covering this. And to speak to the data grab aspect, I only can speak to my perspective. I would have been helped if somebody documented this person has bipolar, PTSD, has gone through rapes, and I just slipped through the cracks. So from my perspective, that would be helpful for a health department to see that I'm a mentally ill person that can't get help in America.
One final.
Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think what I'm trying to get to is I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. If there are companies that will do that, I just wouldn't want a company to be precious to do pressure, that is to do something that they don't have in their bylaws to do. So my question is, if I make that decision and then decide I want to make another decision, I personally don't think it's the insurance that should be reliable. I think it's the individual finding the company that would do that. That's all I'm getting at. I'm not making an argument with you. I'm just trying to find out, are you trying to pressure the insurance company to do that? Are you just saying, if I decide I want to do that, I should have a right to do it?
I mean, both. Again, as I can only speak as a mentally ill person, having to fight insurance companies and struggle with my conditions has never been necessarily a walk in the ballpark. So, I can only speak from my perspective of how difficult it's been to actually get help in this country.
Thank you. You had a comment.
Again, I just want to affirm that I feel that healthcare should be equitable across the lifespan, regardless of who we are, where we are, and how we are in any given moment. The concern is not with that aspect of the bill. Even the types of data to which Mr. Breedlove refers should be part of a normal medical record. Where the concern is why there needs to be a record of that goes to the desk of this body, creating a registry of providers, creating a list of patients throughout the state. That should be handled between the provider, the insurer, and the patient. It has no business being stored in this space.
Thank you. Next on my list, Representative Chisholm. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
well, I just want to speak again to my experience. Again, as a mentally ill person, it would be helpful to be tracked by the health department because, again, let's be honest, this country has the healthcare system. As my doctor at Vanderbilt said to me, it has the healthcare system. It has. And we haven't really addressed that. It's gone on before I was even born with mentally ill people in this country.
Thank you. Representative Chisholm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in you all's view, do you see the potential to violate HIPAA with a law like this?
To violate HIPAA, from what I was been told by the LGBT Courage Coalition, this does not violate HIPAA. That's what I was told. And I can't speak to more on that, but it shouldn't violate HIPAA. And again, Representative Faison might speak to more of that. From what I know, it does not.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll say the same question for the sponsor as well.
Thank you.
It shouldn't. We shouldn't be creating laws that even create the environment for that possibility. But if you're asking insurers to record date, content, type, if you're asking them to make lists of the information in meetings. If you're asking then to submit a report to that, those are tools that did not exist before and certainly present liability concerns and vulnerability concerns for that information, because it's yet another space in which that information exists that it didn't before. And anytime you do that, I'm sure you could talk with any data expert to say that anytime you can't create a new repository of information, you're creating an additional data risk and information leak risk in that situation.
Thank you. Next on my list, Representative Capley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion, we go back into session.
That's a proper motion, proper second. So without objection, we're going to go back into session. Want to say thank you for your testimony today. You're exactly right. I think one of the things that, and we completely got off the financial aspect of this bill today, which is the purpose of this committee. But you're exactly right. And your testimony today is extremely important for us to be able to know and understand what it is you've personally experienced and how we can do better as it relates to monitoring people's mental health in the state. It is important that we do that. And so thank you for your testimony today.
Thank you.
We are back in session. Chairman Faison, any discussion? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to share a few things with you. We have worked with the AG's department to make sure what we're doing is HIPAA compliant, number one. Number two, it is very important for state legislatures all across America to collect data that's HIPAA compliant, to know what's going on, find trends. We collect data for all sorts of health issues, from cancer to diabetes. We collect data. Our health committees look at it. Our commissioner of health looks at it. We want to know what's going on. It's incumbent on us to see, are there trends? Are there things that we can do better? If you have not collected data and melted it down and crunched the numbers, if you will, how do you ever know what's really going on? That's incumbent on us. And so we worked with the AG to make sure that all of this was HIPAA compliant. Number two, yes, Representative Shaw, there are some insurance companies that offer both for transition and detransition. However, what we have seen, there are also insurance companies who, like my friend JD dealt with, that were all for you doing whatever you want to do up front, but then they drop you. He actually spent some time with me last year, and before I was done, I was in tears. And JD said something that I'll never forget. And and he didn't say it to y'all this morning, but I'm going to tell y'all, you need to hear this. I was in tears after hearing the abuse that he went through, and his insurance company was part of fault of what he went through. But he said, Jeremy, your bill probably can't help me, but I would love to think my testimony will help somebody else that's had to deal with the shit that I've dealt with. I'll never forget. He isn't up here for himself, y'all. He's up here for the other people who've got trapped into something that they were sold a bill of goods that isn't real. That's a facade. And he's up here pushing for that. So that's all we're doing. We're just saying, if you do sell insurance to somebody, that customer, that consumer has to buy both. That's it.
Thank you, Chairman Faison. First on my list, Representative Parkinson, you're recommended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what happens if they don't buy both?
Chairman Faison.
Thank you. If we pass this bill, you're going to have to buy both. Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Representative Parkinson.
When we pass this bill and they don't buy both, are they going to jail? Is it a civil penalty? What happens if they just don't follow the law?
Chairman Faison.
Thank you. So Department of Commerce and Insurance oversees how the insurance things are sold. You don't have the option to sell insurance in Tennessee. If we pass this bill and it's signed into law, you won't have the option of selling insurance that only does half.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If they purchase insurance to transition from one company, do they have to purchase insurance to detransition from the same company, or can they use a separate, different company?
Chairman Faison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Antonio, Representative Parkinson, in Tennessee, if we pass this bill, and you sell transition medical needs for therapy or transition, you will also have to, at the same time, sell them for detransition processes as well. You don't have the option of just doing one if we pass this bill.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Parkinson. Representative Chisholm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, again. So I'm gonna ask this question again about how in line will a bill like this be with HIPAA laws that we currently have? And to add to that, if there's a leak of information, how would that be addressed?
Chairman Page.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Representative Chisholm, we worked with the Attorney General's office to make sure all of the data that we collect is called HIPAA compliant data that goes to the Department of Health. We would have to refer to legal, but from my understanding, the data that we collect is HIPAA compliant. And I think if there was a leak, it wouldn't be about a specific person. It would just be about something that's going on and not identified from a person, from an actual individual.
Representative Chisholm.
So will a bill like this save the state money?
Chairman Page.
Well, my note is not significant, so it's not going to cost us money.
Well, most lists, they have some kind of cost to them. So I know that the bill doesn't have a fiscal note to it, but do you think hospitals will have a extra financial burden from this?
Chairman Page.
No.
Thank you.
Representative Shaw, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Here's the problem I have is, what about those who don't want to transition back? So they still got to pay for insurance they don't need.
Chairman Page.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Dr. Shaw, that is something that you and I deal with on a daily basis. If we buy insurance that covers things that you and I will never have to deal with, but it's listed in our insurance. And that's just part of selling insurance in the world. There are things that covered that you and I will never have to deal with, but you're paying for it.
Representative Shaw.
Well, I mean, I understand that, and in essence of time, I'll be through after this comment, but I just think that is something that an insurance company need to put in its bylaws. It will sell you to transition, but we won't cover you if you go back, vice versa. I just don't think I need to pay for 2 lawnmowers when I only got 1. Thank you.
Chairman Faison, do you have a response to the lawnmower question?
I don't think that insurance covers lawnmowers.
Okay, thank you. Next on my list, Deputy Speaker Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move previous question.
Previous question has been called. Any objections? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, will you please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 754 moving on to full finance, vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes, 3 noes.
House Bill 754, the ayes have it. House Bill 754 moves to full finance. Item number 13, next on the calendar, item number 13, House Bill 819 by Representative Garrett. We have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Garrett, you have an amendment, drafting code 015280.
That's right, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and second on the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, we're going to put the amendment on. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 015280, say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Drafting code amendment 015280 is on the bill. Representative Garrett, you're recognized on House Bill 819.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And with that newly adopted amendment, the fiscal note, I believe, is non-significant, but let me explain a little bit about the piece of legislation the committee is aware. This is the certificate of need piece of legislation where we are taking acute care out of the certificate of need process along with freestanding ERs and cardiac cath. The acute care will be out of CON in 2030. The other 2 will be out in 2027. The only clarification that has come to my attention today is that there is a cardiac cath facility that just recently was approved under CON. Under the current language, it will not be affected. But Mr. Chairman, I do plan on adding some language that will clarify and specifically state in this piece of legislation that cardiac catheterization facility, that no facility will be affected prior to July 1, 2027. That's the only anticipated change that I would have to further clarify that cath in East Tennessee will not be affected by this piece of legislation, Mr. Chairman. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. We do have someone here that wanted to testify. So before we have a discussion, we're going to go out of session. Without objection, we're going out of session to hear from Rob Gregory. Mr. Gregory, if you will, just take a seat or stand at the podium, whichever you prefer. If you will, state your name, who you're with, and as soon as you begin, you'll have 3 minutes.
Very good. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I appreciate it very much. My name is Rob Gregory, and I am the administrator and CEO of Caring Hearts Cardiology, an independent cardiology practice located in Johnson City, Washington County, Tennessee. Caring Hearts was founded in April of 2021, and today we employ approximately 85 residents of Upper East Tennessee, with an annual payroll approaching $10 million. In September of 2022, the Tennessee Health Facilities Commission approved our Certificate of Need application to develop a single specialty ambulatory surgical center focused on cardiovascular procedures, including diagnostic cardiac caths and cardiac device implants. That approval followed a very lengthy and rigorous process. Our organization invested approximately $275,000 preparing and defending our application, including responding to opposition, and ultimately resolving an appeal to the Commission's decision. Construction began in September of 2023, and we invested nearly $3 million to complete, staff, supply, and equip the facility. In July of 2024, the state of Tennessee issued our facility a license. And on August 8th of 2024, we performed our first patient procedure. For our physicians, staff, contractors, and community partners, it was an important milestone. But more importantly, it represented expanded access to high-quality cardiovascular care for patients in Upper East Tennessee. In 2025, our first full year of operation, we performed 688 cardiac procedures in the facility. Approximately 85% of those patients live in Washington County, Greene, Carter, Sullivan, and Unicoi County. Because procedures performed in ambulatory surgery centers are reimbursed at significantly lower rates than hospital outpatient departments, our facility generated meaningful savings. We estimate approximately $1.4 million in savings to Medicare. We estimate approximately $500,000 in savings to patients and local residents through lower out-of-pocket costs. As we enter our second full year of operation, we project approximately $2 million in Medicare savings and more than $1 million in direct patient savings annually. Those savings come without compromising quality or safety, and they provide patients in our region a lower cost alternative for necessary cardiovascular care. And I appreciate the updates to this amendment that we just spoke about. So part of my testimony is not is a little late, but I'm still going to provide it. I'm deeply concerned about the proposed amendment to House Bill 0819. The amendment states that any facility providing cardiac catheterization must be licensed under this section. We have no problem with that. It further. Your 3 minutes is up. Sorry. If we could do that, we want to. I think the entire committee
recognizes the challenge that you're in. So does yes, Representative Hicks, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for being here, Mr. Gregory. We appreciate you and all the work that you've done we was in support of your facility 100%, and we appreciate the care that you give, and we definitely want to work hard. This committee and Representative Garrett wants to work hard to make sure that we put no harm toward your company and what you all do serving the folks of Northeast Tennessee. So we will continue that, and we will make sure that this amendment goes on and take care of you guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a voice today. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Hicks. Thank you. Next on the list, Chairman Hicks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Gregory, thank you for being here. And thank you again for what you and your organization, what you all do back in Northeast Tennessee. And as the other Chairman Hicks said, when we found out that Caring Hearts were going to be negatively impacted by this bill, we went to the sponsor and he graciously understood. And so we got an amendment that we are going to fix this situation which you spoke about. So again, I want to say thank you to the sponsor for working with all of us up in Northeast Tennessee to make sure Caring Hearts is going to continue to do the good work that you all have been doing.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion for our guest? Seeing none, we're going to go back in session. Representative Garrett, I'm having a hard time sorting out your title change. But anyway, I don't know why. But after communication with a couple of folks and based on his testimony today, I think it would be appropriate for us to get that amendment, get it drafted, put it on the amendment, because I think it's important that we do that before we move out of here. I started this committee off because I made a mistake before, and I don't want to do that again if I can possibly do that. So without objection, I'm going to roll you to the hill.
Okay.
With the idea because we're probably not going to get through everything, so it wouldn't take a roll.
Okay.
We would come back in this posture next week, and then we'd have an amendment that we could put on that's timely filed, and then move it out so that we make sure that this oversight is remedied, if that's okay. So without objection, we're going to roll House Bill 819 to the hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Committee.
Thank you. Title specific, Garrett. House Bill 1542 by Representative Ashley, waiting at the back of the room. We have a motion second on the bill. Representative Ashley, you're recognized on House Bill 1542.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A person commits telecommunication fraud when the person with intent to deprive the owner of property uses a telecommunication device to fraudulently obtain or exercise control over the property of another without the owner's effective consent.
Thank you for your brief description. Any questions for Representative Ashley? Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Representative, thank you for bringing this. Just quick question. Would this also, and I understand that I'm a co-sponsor of this legislation, but I want to make sure that, would this affect like elder abuse through a spam call or financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult through some sort of computer-generated AI through the phone system?
Representative Ashley.
My intent of this legislation is any type of scam, people trying to scam people out of money. That's what's going on that probably affected everybody in this room right now. I'm moving it from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class C felony.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm full support of it.
Thank you. Any further questions? Representative Ashley? Seeing none, this bill does have a small fiscal note. So without objection, House Bill 1542 will go behind the budget. We're going to go back, without objection, we're going to go back to item number 10. Chairman Todd is in the back of the room. Chairman Todd was in other committees. Chairman Todd, do I have a motion second on House Bill 898? You do have a motion and second. Chairman Todd, you're recognized on House Bill 898.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And what this does is it requires any water system that sells water containing fluoride to obtain a certificate of analysis and post such certificate and the MSDS on their website. And I'm a little concerned that we have a fiscal note here because I really don't understand it, because it does not dictate that they get an outside lab to perform these tests. Most of these have their own testing lab and they're certified by the state. They're inspected by the state so they can comply with their routine testing they already do. They all test now for all kinds of things. And this particular chemical, fluoride, is the most expensive chemical they put in water. So they don't want to put too much. They're wanting to keep it at whatever their goal is. So they're already testing, and posting on the website doesn't cost anything. And it doesn't specify how many times they have to test. So it's going to be up to them and what their citizens want. So I would appreciate a positive recommendation out of this committee, even though it talks about they're not able to really estimate this that well. Based on those facts, I think that I would hope the committee could consider that.
Thank you, Chairman Todd, for your analysis of fiscal review. I tend to agree with 99.9% of what they say, but unfortunately it does have fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 898 will go behind the budget.
Thank you.
We are back to item number 15 on your calendar. I see Representative Barrett at the back. House Bill 1805. We have a motion and I'll second it. Representative Barrett, you are recognized on House Bill 1805.
Thank you, Chairman and committees. This is an education bill seeking to adjust the education standards for social studies as it relates to the teaching of the history of communism. We've already come through the education committees. With the way it was originally drafted, there was a fiscal note attached to it, but we have amended that to take that fiscal note off. And so I'm here just hopefully to get a free pass on to the next stop.
Nothing's ever free in here. Any discussions for Representative Barrett? Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Representative, if you can, they kicked me off education, so if you can just explain the bill for me.
Well, sure, I'll be glad to do that. Essentially, what we're trying to do is make sure that there are standards written into the future social studies curriculum standards that will make sure that the students that are learning about the history of communism, a lot of what we're seeing happening is there's been an emphasis on modern history starting at 9/11 coming forward. And so new graduates, new students are not really getting the context that goes on that what happened in the U.S. between World War II coming forward to that moment. And so we're trying to make sure that we're getting a proper emphasis on that that's age appropriate in the grade levels.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sponsor. Any further discussion on the bill? Seeing none, will Madam Clerk please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 1805 moving to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes do have it. Congratulations, you're on full finance.
Thank you.
Item number 16 on your calendar, House Bill 1630 by Chairman Boyd. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Boyd, you are recognized on House Bill 1630.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee, this is a high-quality bill brought by the Bureau of Workers' Comp. It makes various changes to the Workers' Comp statute. One of the key things is it does get them a new computer system. It's not requesting funding from an allocation. It's actually coming from a fund that they already have at the Bureau. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Boyd. Any discussion for Chairman Boyd? He does have a funding letter, the coveted funding letter, so we are going to vote without discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 1630, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
House Bill 1630, the ayes have it. House Bill 1630 goes to full finance. Item number 17 on the calendar, also by Chairman Boyd, House Bill 1631. We have a motion second. Chairman Boyd, you're recognized on House
Thank
Bill
you, Mr. Chairman.
1631.
Members, this is a wonderful bill brought by the Department of Agriculture. What it does is it essentially deletes the reference to the Tennessee State Fair and Exposition Commission and changes it to the Tennessee Agriculture Fair and Livestock Show, and it puts all departmental things under the Department of Agriculture. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a wonderful explanation of the bill. I'm gonna start using adjectives when I present my bill too, and maybe I can get some favorable, recommendations coming out of committees too. Thank you for a good bill, though.
Thank you for that.
It's a good try, Representative Parkinson, but I doubt it'll work. House Bill 1631. Any further discussion? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, will you please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 1631, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please call a vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes do have it. House Bill 1631 moves to full finance. Item number 18, also by Chairman Boyd on your calendar, House Bill 1916. Do I have a motion? Motion and a second. Representative Chairman Boyd, you are recognized on House Bill 1916.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee, this is a fantastic bill that is brought by the realtors. And what it would do is it says if you are a affiliate broker or a broker already licensed in Tennessee, you do not have to do additional training for short-term rentals. There was a little bit of concern by some of my colleagues from the Smoky Mountains, so we did put an amendment in there to clarify that people that do exclusively short-term rentals do not have to operate under a broker. They just needed that clarification. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Boyd. Any further discussion on the bill, Chairman Boyd? This one, regardless of the adjectives, does have a fiscal impact. And so without objection, House Bill 1916 will go behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman of the committee.
Yes, thank you. Item number 19 by Chairman Clemens, House Bill 1767. He is not present, so we will move that bill to the Hill. Without objection, House Bill 1767 to the Hill. Item number 20 by Representative Davis, waiting patiently. We have a motion and second on your bill. Representative Davis, you are recognized on House Bill 1675.
Thank you. I have an absolutely wonderful bill as well. This bill actually, even though it says other fiscal impact, it has a very small impact on the locals. What we're doing is those school nurses that are employed by an LEA that have a bachelor's degree and also have a nurse's license, they have to have a registered nurse's license. If they have, in addition to that, the National Certified School Nurse certification, then we're asking that they be rewarded in a way to merit that pay. And so currently, there's only 62 nurses in our state that meet that qualification, and 39 of them are already hired by large districts, and they either meet or exceed that pay. So really, this would only impact about 23 school nurses. But what we're trying to do is encourage those school nurses to get that extra certification to ensure that we have quality individuals that can chart properly, because we have a lot of things with 504s and IEPs. And with that, I stand ready for any questions, and I would love a positive recommendation.
Thank you, Representative Davis. I think you do have someone here that was scheduled to testify.
Oh.
I don't know. Yes.
Oh,
So
great.
without objection from the members, we will go out of session to hear from Dr. Shanna Groom. So without objection, we're out of session. Ms. Groom, if you will, just state your name for the record, who you're with, and you have 3 minutes.
It'll turn around.
There we go. I'm Dr. Shannon Groom. I am the Tennessee Director to the National Association of School Nurses. I think Representative Davis did a great explanation, so I'll not take up much of your time, but we are just asking that school nurses who are a registered nurse and also have their bachelor's degree and then also have passed the national certification exam as a school nurse be recognized and paid at least as much as a teacher in the school system. We do have a lot of districts that do not pay their registered nurses very well at all. So this would help equalize some of that pay.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Green? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony today. We will go back into session. Representative Davis, any further discussion, comment? Seeing none, unfortunately, this bill does have a fiscal impact, and so we're going to have to place it behind the budget and consider it a later date. So without objection, House Bill 1675 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I did see Leader Clemens is in the back of the room, or Chairman Clemens. We're going to go back to item number 19 without objection to House Bill 1767 by Chairman Clemens. We have a motion. Second, Chairman Clemens, you are recognized on House Bill 1767.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I took the elevator and hit every branch on the way down. This bill would exempt the retail sale of food and food ingredients from the sales and use tax for families who qualify at the same household income limit that we set last year for the voucher legislation. So so for households, incomes not exceeding 300% of the amount required for a student to qualify for a free and reduced price lunch pursuant to the guidelines set forth by the USDA. As you all know, there are multiple iterations of grocery sales tax elimination traveling through this body. I think it's a wildly popular idea and something we can do to reduce costs for working families in Tennessee. And so this version is simply different because it sets that income household limit at the same amount which we set that voucher bill at last year.
Thank you, Chairman Clemens. Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think that's a really good spin on the grocery tax. I think that's gives us another avenue, another direction to come from that could help the most vulnerable families. So thank you for bringing the legislation, and I'm gonna sign on if it doesn't sink it any further. So
thank you. Maybe. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Chairman Clemens, House Bill 1767 does have a fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 1767 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee.
Back to the calendar, item number 21, House Bill 747 has been requested by Representative Fritz to be off notice. So without objection, House Bill 747 is off notice. The back of the room waiting patiently, item number 22, House Bill 1687 by Representative Keene. Representative Keene, you are recognized on House Bill 1687.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
This legislation updates the property value cap used to calculate state reimbursement for disabled veterans' property tax relief, increasing it from $175,000 to $200,000. As property values rise across the state, disabled veterans are shouldering a greater portion of their local property tax burden, even though the structure of the program has not changed. The comptroller's data reflects that structure and does not establish separate spending caps by participating categories. For service persons who have acquired 100% disability as determined by the Department of Veteran Affairs, this legislation applies. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I stand ready for a question.
Well, thank you, Representative Hakeem. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none? Representative Parkinson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the hazing. I appreciate it. Representative Hakeem, thank you for bringing the legislation. You know, as a veteran, also, you know, even though I don't quite qualify for the property tax relief, I think it's important to point out that our veterans population has I think it's a 32, I don't have notes in front of me. I think it's a $32 billion economic impact in the state of Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
$32 billion economic impact in the state of Tennessee. This legislation, although the fiscal note, I think it says a little bit is greater than $5 million, the investment in veterans property tax relief could serve as a beacon to bring in other veterans here to either retire or stay in our state. And again, you know, when you look at, you know, the retirement income that veterans bring to the state and their spending that they do in the state in home ownership to everything else, you know, it's a great economic impact and driver, you know, for our state. So I just want to encourage all of us to you know, make sure that we you know, show our thanks to the veterans, to people that have put their lives on the lines, people that have whose lives have changed because they put their lives on the line for us, and to make, you know, our state as welcoming as we can possibly make it for those members who have served selfishly for us. And thank you again.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. House Bill 1687 does have fiscal impact, so without objection, House Bill 1687 will go behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members.
Item number 23 on your calendar, House Bill 1113 by Representative Hardaway. All right, item number 23, House Bill 1113 to the Hill, without objection to the Hill. Item number 24, also by Representative Hardaway, House Bill 184, without objection to the Hill. Item number 25 on your calendar, House Bill 348 by Representative Hurt. I saw him in here earlier, so he's not here. So item number 25, House Bill 348 by Representative Hurt to the Hill. Item number 26 on your calendar, House Bill 1672 by Representative Jones. We have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Jones, you are recognized on House Bill 1672.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that is it does two things. So the first thing is it will help local governments respond quickly to natural disasters. It gives the Comptroller's Office some authority to approve some emergency operating loans for local governments in natural disaster without waiting for FEMA to declare a disaster. And as we know, through Helene and through the ice storm here in Nashville, this could be very helpful to our local governments. And then the second thing it does is it helps local governments avoid unnecessary costs when grant reimbursements are delayed. So with that, I stand ready for questions.
Thank you, Representative Jones. Any discussion for Representative Jones? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? All those, will the Madam Clerk please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 1672 moving to full finance, vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 10 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes do have it. House Bill 1672 moves to full finance. Item number 27 on your calendar, also by Representative Jones, House Bill 193. I have a motion and a second. Representative Jones, you also have an amendment that you'd like to put on, drafting code 010181. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We have a motion and second on the amendment. We're going to go ahead and put that amendment on. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 010181, say aye. All those opposed, vote no. The ayes do have it. Amendment drafting code 010181 is on the bill. Representative Jones, you are recognized on House Bill 193 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this bill does is just to go back to Helene, we had a lot of the National Guard really showed up big, and they showed up big in our communities. And so we, I have someone here that wants to testify on it, but through this resident in Carter County, he came to me and he said, we need to do something to help our younger guardsmen. And so we amended this bill to just do E4 and to be a pilot program so that we could kind of cut down the physical note. But what it does is says that on the first $15,000 of the purchase of a new vehicle, it would be sales tax exempt. So with that, if you would like to.
Thank you, Representative Jones. We do have someone here to testify, so without objection, hear their testimony. So without objection, we're going to go out of session. Mr. Larry Brown, I think. Mr. Brown, if you will, just grab a seat right there. We'll turn your microphone on. If you'll just state your name for the record, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'd like to thank the members of the committee for the opportunity to speak today in support of Bill 193. My name is Larry Brown. I spent one tour of active duty in the Navy. And after 15 years and some screwing around, I got into construction work, joined the National Guard, and served as a full-time technician for 22 years. I retired in 2007. This bill seeks to correct an oversight made years ago when the members of the AGR were given a sales tax benefit. This bill excluded technicians and the rank and file troopers. We believe that same support should be extended to all those who serve in the Guard at the rank of E4 and below. A lot of our troops drive vehicles that aren't in good shape. I'd be willing to bet a significant percentage of these vehicles our folks drive, they couldn't pass an inspection in the state of Virginia. We hope this bill can help our soldiers with a suitable ride. We've tried to pass this bill now for 5 years, and believe this year we satisfied some of the concerns and previous that stopped us. So let me tell you what this bill will do. It allows a member of the Tennessee National Guard to avoid paying sales tax on a vehicle they have purchased for personal use. That sales tax only applies to the first $15,000 of the purchase price, limiting the one-time value of the sales tax benefit. Guards can only use this every 5 years. Lastly, only enlisted individuals at or below the rank of E4, that's a specialist or a corporal, qualify for this benefit. This was a big change, and we think it's the key to passing this bill in 2026. This change helps keep the costs down, and it makes sure we're spending taxpayers' resources to help those most in need. On a personal note, I'd like to thank the members of the committee who have supported the National Guard. The men and women of the Guard play a key role in our community, and they stepped up big time in East Tennessee when we had the floods in September. I'm asking this committee to fund and support this bill to help out our junior enlisted individuals who need a little help affording reliable transportation. I appreciate every one of you, and I thank you for your job, and I thank you for your service. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, Mr. Brown, I don't have any questions for you. Someone may do, but let me take the opportunity to say thank you for your service, first of all. Secondly, I feel like I went home to Upper East Tennessee during your testimony. So it's amazing that.
What?
Because I don't know if you recognize it. Most of us from Upper East Tennessee don't recognize our accent, but it does sound like home. So thank you for your testimony today. Chairman Hicks, you're recognized.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Brown, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you, sir.
5 years ago, me and Larry met in Gray at the McDonald's, and he rolled this out and this idea that he had, and he has absolutely, if anybody else has worked as hard on a bill over the past 5 years, I'd have to see him, because Larry has absolutely went to the mat on this bill. And so I'm glad that we've got it. You know, I originally had it, and we changed gears a little bit. We were able to pass some legislation last year that allowed our guardsmen to have insurance, and that was a big deal. So I changed course a little bit to make sure those folks were ready to be deployed. And now that we know they're ready to be deployed, now we've got to make sure they can get there physically, not just as they were able-bodied. Now we got to make sure that we are taking care of them on the other end. So Larry, thank you. It's certainly good to see you again, and thank you for the hard work you've done on this legislation.
Well, thank you, sir, for your support.
Representative Parkins?
Yes, sir, you had a question?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. and
He's
thank you.
he's wanting to lead the committee, I believe.
And thank you.
He might just get it.
The chairman is very kind today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Brown. Thank you. First of all, thank you for your service. You know, you in your remarks, you took me back to my days as a Lance Corporal and Corporal in the Marine Corps, and I remember when I was sent to Japan, and you know, I bought a car for like $400, and the car was rusty. But you know, I think my priorities might have been in the wrong place, because I was more interested in having a loud stereo in the car than I was in having a sound car. And so every time the bass would hit, you would hear this, that was the rust falling off the car. But it just, to your point, you know, those junior enlisted individuals, you know, they don't get paid a lot of money. Right. And sometimes it's a struggle, and some of them have families. And so if we are able to bring this from behind the budget, you know, I think it'd be an incredible help to those individuals. I know what that feels like, and I'm sure you do too. And so again, thank you for your testimony. I think it was great, and I truly appreciate it. And again, thank you for your service.
Sir, the VFW this year got to feed the troops at Elizabethton, and we walked outside as they was leaving, and they'd be like, the ones that I really like to target is the E4s that are older, that have 2 or 3 kids going down the road. I mean, a piece of junk. You know, it's the best that a lot of them can afford. Now, a lot of it's self-inflicted. I will not say it's not. Some of them just, and as far as 15,000, they won't be, I don't know the percentage, but they won't be a lot do that. I mean, ones with mom and dad helping them out, yeah. But people, we have so many people that, you know, make a minimum wage. I've had 5 people working for me at one time, worked at Walmart. Good troops, but, you know, they worked. But, you know, if you can help us, we'd appreciate it. I do care about the younger people. I did. Well, that's the reason I never got no higher than E7. Because I walked in that head shed, I told them I'm for the troops. Troops like me, but ones above me didn't care much about it. But that was fine. I live with that.
Thank you,
sir.
thank you,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Brown. We like you pretty good around here, but seeing no other questions or discussion, we're going to go back into session. Sorry, I lost my notes. Yeah. Representative Jones, do you have anything to add? House Bill 193.
No, sir.
This bill does have fiscal impact, as Chairman Hicks and I've discussed. We're going to look at it as closely as we possibly can, but without objection, House Bill 193 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee.
I did see Representative Hurt did walk back in the room, so without objection, we're going to take him up from the hill. Item number 25 on your calendar, House Bill 348 by Representative Hurt. I have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Hurt, you're recognized on House Bill 348.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was outside winning the first annual legislative duck calling contest. Let me sit all this over here, please.
Congratulations.
Just
It
kidding.
will not help the fiscal note on your bill.
I was trying.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Committee. This bill simply says if an LEA's local funding body does not fully fund an LEA at the amount it's budgeted, it may not increase other budget items before fully funding the budget that it set for its LEA.
Thank you, Representative Hurt, for that description. Any discussion on the bill? It does have an impact, a fiscal impact, so without objection, House Bill 348 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and
Representative
Committee.
Hurt. We are back to item number 28 on your calendar, House Bill 1553 by Representative Lynn. We have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Lynn, you are recognized on House Bill 1553.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill is brought to me by the Secretary of State's office, and it simplifies 2 processes
for charities that are shutting down. And as our Secretary of State always likes to save Tennesseans money, he has eliminated a $20 fee. And that creates a fiscal note of $800, but he feels that fee is unnecessary, so.
Thank you, Representative Lynn. Any questions for Representative Lynn? Seeing none, House Bill 1553 does have a tiny fiscal impact. So without objection, we're going to send House Bill 1553 behind the budget.
Thank you.
Item number 2029, House Bill 2437 by Representative McKenzie. We have a motion second on the bill. Representative McKenzie, I think you have an amendment drafting code 014300. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can I have a motion second on that amendment? We have a motion and second on the amendment for all. We're going to go ahead and put that amendment on. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 014300, say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Amendment drafting code 014300 is on the bill. Representative McKenzie, you're recognized on House Bill 2437 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This legislation simply eliminates the 4% state sales tax on generic grocery items. The amendment exempts soda and some sugary drinks such as generic sports drink. And the legislation is silent on the local sales tax option. So we're not going to disrupt the local budgets. But it's a small step to reduce the burden of grocery tax for families and helps put food on the table. Store brands are an important ally to how consumers are able to manage their money and provide quality goods at a great value. There's been legislation introduced, and the governor's actually had periods where he's taken the sales tax portion off, the state sales tax portion off, and it's admirable. But let's try to codify this. It's a good way to help struggling families. This legislation is a small start, but gives us a pathway to reduce the tax in its entirety. And with that, Mr. Chair and Subcommittee, I ask for your favorable vote on this bill.
Thank you very much. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. This bill does have fiscal impact, and so it will be placed behind the budget. So without objection, House Bill 1842 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Committee.
Thank you. Item number 31, we're going to. Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. Item number 29, House Bill 2437 will go behind the budget. Item number 30 on your calendar, House Bill 1842 by Representative Miller, who's hung out with us for an hour and 22 minutes. We have a motion and second on House Bill 1842.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members. This is the most expensive, I think, bill this morning, as long as I've been sitting here. It's about $800 million annually to go directly and just eliminate the 4% on groceries. That's all it does.
Thank you, Representative Miller. Any discussion for Representative Miller? You are correct. It is the most expensive thing we've seen here today, but and because of that, we are going to have to place it behind the budget and consider it at a later date. House Bill 1842, without objection, goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Item number 31, Representative Sparks. House Bill 2086. We have a motion second on the item number 31, House Bill 2086. Representative Sparks, you are recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. The irony is House Bill 2086 is the most fiscal responsible bill cutting taxes off fresh fruit and vegetables. And my bill, the fiscal note is about 10%. Many members may not realize that Tennessee is a very unhealthy state. I was shocked when I started reading some of this and just studying for this. Tennessee ranks 44th out of 50 states for overall health in the United States. We rank 33 in physical inactivity. Tennessee has the 6th highest death rate from heart disease in the country. Our children are obese, 38 to 40%, and growing. Our state spends about $2.6 million on healthcare, poor healthcare choices. We rank 9th in obesity. What this bill intends to do, Chairman, is a meaningful step to help Tennessee families facing rising grocery prices, cuts taxes off fresh fruit and vegetables, putting healthy food within affordability for many Tennesseans. With that being said, just ask for your approval.
Thank you, Representative Sparks. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, since this bill does have a cost, we will place it behind the budget, consider a later date. House Bill, without objection, House Bill 2086 goes behind the budget.
Thank you, Chairman.
Item number 32, House Bill 1522 by Representative Stevens. We have a motion second on the bill. Just encourage the members who know their bill is going behind the budget to be brief in your description. Representative Stevens, you are recognized on House Bill 1522.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill exempts an active U.S. military service member who is stationed out of state on military orders from paying the additional registration fee on electric vehicles.
Yes. Thank you. Any discussion for Representative Stevens? Seeing none, House Bill 1522 does have a fiscal impact. And so without, we have to place it behind the budget and consider a later date. So without objection, House Bill 1522 goes behind the budget. Item number 33 on the calendar, House Bill 1526 by Representative Senate. We have a motion and second on the bill. Representative Senate, you have an amendment filed with committee drafting code 013922. We have a motion and second on the amendment. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 013922 say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Amendment drafting code 013922 is on the bill. We do have a funding letter. So Representative Stinnett, you are recognized on House Bill 1526 as amended.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. This, in Blount County, we've had 3 armories over the history of the National Guard in Blount County, and we've never named one of them. And we, the commission and the Veterans Association, have came up with a name to put on name on this last building we built. And it's Commander Sergeant Major William O. Gregory. He spent 41 years of his life, more than half his life, in the National Guard, and he served in all 3 buildings. So with that being said, Chairman, I stand for questions.
Thank you, Representative Stinnett. Any discussion on the bill? This question has been called, so we're on the bill. Madam Clerk, will you please open the board for a vote? All those in favor of House Bill 1526 moving to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 10 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes do have it. House Bill 1526 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman.
Last one we're going to get to today, item number 34, House Bill 878, also by Representative Senate. We have a motion second on the bill. We also have an amendment drafting code 014537. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and second on the amendment. We're going to vote on the amendment, put it on the bill. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 014537, say aye. All those opposed, vote no. The ayes do have it. Amendment drafting code 014537 is on the bill. Representative Senate, you are recognized on House Bill 878 as amended.
Thank you, Chairman. In recent years, the Treasurer has identified a decline in the revenue in the criminal injury compensation fund, and he'd like to find out how come the funds are going downhill. So this legislation, all it is a transparency and accountability to ask us to allow him to check with the clerks and have permission to randomly ask them to give him information so he can figure out why that fund's going downhill.
Thank you, Representative Senate. Any further discussion on the bill as amended? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, would please open the board for the vote. All those in favor of House Bill 878, vote aye. All those opposed, vote no. Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 10 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The ayes do have it. House Bill 878 moves on to full finance. All those bills not considered today will be rolled to next week.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. All the bills not considered today will be rolled to next week's calendar. And without objection, move to adjourn.